The frontier world of R'lyth had always been a place where tensions simmered like the storms that rolled across its violet plains. It sat on the border of human expansion and the domain of the Aurelian Union, a species renowned for their luminous skin patterns and fierce protection of kin. For years, the two civilizations had exchanged wary glances across disputed sectors, neither willing to start a war, neither willing to step back. Patrol vessels passed each other with weapons primed, and outposts were built as fast as they were contested. Amid this fragile balance served a human soldier named Mark, a quiet man whose duty had taken him far from the green world of his birth. He carried no grand titles, no heroic lineage, only a habit of acting on instinct, even when instinct placed him in harm's path. Mark was assigned to R'lyth Station 12, a lone installation perched on the edge of a canyon carved by ancient floods. The station's purpose was simple: observe, report, and avoid incidents. Yet the land around it was unpredictable, riddled with hidden caves that channeled the shrieks of distant beasts and storms that came without warning. The Aurelian outpost across the canyon was visible at night when its crystalline structures glowed like clusters of fallen stars. Despite orders to avoid unnecessary contact, Mark often watched it through field lenses, imagining the lives of those who lived there. He wondered if their patrols felt the same low-level dread that crept into his bones during the long nights. One morning, his station alarms blared, startling him from a routine inspection of perimeter sensors. A violent storm had appeared over the horizon hours earlier, moving with unnatural speed. It churned through the sky in spirals of purple lightning, advancing like a massive living thing. Storms on R'lyth were not to be underestimated. The wind carried shards of silica that could flay exposed skin, while electrical discharges could knock out unshielded systems in seconds. Mark hurried to lock down external equipment when he noticed something moving across the canyon floor. The shape was small, too small to be an animal that could survive this environment. He steadied the lenses and saw the truth: an Aurelian child. The young one stumbled through the rising winds, arms shielding its face as burning dust cut the air. The child's luminous skin flickered weakly, a sign of exhaustion and fear. Mark's blood went cold. Any human contact with Aurelian young was a political minefield. The species viewed their offspring as sacred, and even accidental harm could trigger diplomatic backlash. Yet doing nothing would condemn the child to certain death. His orders were clear: remain at the station, maintain neutrality, do not initiate cross-border actions. He hesitated only a heartbeat, then he ran. He sealed his suit, activated the shield emitters, and sprinted through the station airlock. The storm struck him with full force as soon as he stepped outside. Dust rasped across his visor. Lightning lashed the canyon walls. The child had collapsed near a cluster of rocks, trying to find shelter that did not exist. Mark reached the small figure and crouched, raising his shield dome to block the worst of the blast. The child's eyes glowed faintly, wide with confusion. He spoke calmly, hoping tone would cross species barriers, even if language did not. He lifted the young one into his arms, adjusting the shield output to expand around them both. His steps were heavy as he fought the storm. Each gust shoved him sideways, threatening to topple them. He could hardly see the path ahead, relying on suit sensors to guide the way. The station felt impossibly distant. His legs burned. His breathing grew ragged inside the helmet. The child trembled against him, but clung to his armor with tiny fingers. It felt like an eternity before the airlock doors loomed through the swirling haze. Mark stumbled inside and collapsed on the floor as the storm crashed against the outer shell like a giant beating its fists. The child lay curled against him, safe for the moment. He removed his helmet, gasping. The station medic rushed forward, eyes wide at the sight. Mark gestured urgently. Check for injuries. Notify command after stabilizing. They moved the young one to the infirmary. Scanners hummed. The child was dehydrated, scraped, shaken, but alive. Mark watched from the doorway, still covered in dust. He knew consequences would come, yet he felt no regret. Saving a life had never been the wrong choice. Hours later, the storm faded. The canyon fell silent, a world washed clean. Then the sensors detected movement. Not a patrol, not a scout. An entire Aurelian honor guard approached, their gleaming armor reflecting the sun like burning gold. At their center walked a tall figure whose skin glowed in shifting patterns of deep red and pale gold, marking her status. She was the child's mother, and a high-ranking guardian of her people. Her expression was unreadable, yet carried a weight that made Mark's pulse quicken. The station commander insisted on receiving her, but she refused. She asked for one person only, the human who had shielded her young. Mark stepped forward, unsure what awaited him. As he approached, the guard parted without a word. The mother stood still, her gaze fixed on him. The child, now rested and wrapped in a protective shawl, peeked from behind her and chirped softly. The mother placed a gentle hand on her offspring's head before facing Mark fully. Her translator device activated, rendering her voice rich and resonant. "You crossed the storm to protect my child. You risked your life when you owed us nothing." Mark bowed his head slightly, not lifting his eyes. No one should be left to die, not even in disputed lands. A murmur rippled through the guard. The mother studied him with an intensity that felt like a spotlight piercing straight through his chest. "Our laws say any who safeguard our young are bound to us by an ancient pact. We do not break such vows. You have become part of my household. I claim this right." Mark blinked, confused. "I do not understand." The mother stepped closer until he could see the delicate glow patterns along her cheeks shifting in solemn waves. "You saved what is most precious to me. Therefore, I am bound to protect you, stand with you, and ensure your life is not spent alone. I demand you come with us so this bond may be honored." The station commander moved to protest, but the mother's gaze silenced him. Mark felt his thoughts spin. Being claimed by an Aurelian household was unheard of for a human. It was not a threat. It was a declaration of gratitude, so profound it rearranged the social order around it. Yet it would also take him from everything he knew. He looked at the child, who reached a tiny hand toward him in unmistakable recognition. He remembered the storm, the fear, the choice he made without hesitation. "I do not seek reward," he said. "This is not reward," the mother replied. "It is tradition older than the first stars we charted. Denying it would dishonor my lineage and the life you saved." Her tone held no anger, only certainty, and something else. A quiet respect. Mark exhaled slowly. He felt the weight of the decision settle over him like a cloak. But he also sensed an opportunity to mend a breach between their peoples. If one act of compassion had led to this moment, perhaps more could follow. "Then I will go," he said. The mother inclined her head. The guard shifted in unison, forming a protective circle around them. Together, they crossed the canyon toward the Aurelian outpost. Crystalline towers rose like living sculptures, refracting sunlight into colors unknown on Earth. The air smelled faintly of minerals and sweet resin. Aurelian citizens paused as they passed, bowing in recognition of the household's new addition. Some stared in awe at the sight of a human walking beside their guardian. Mark was led to a dwelling, crafted from interlocking crystal plates. Inside, the light dimmed to a warm amber glow. The mother stood before him. "In time, you will learn our ways. You will not be forced. You will not be confined. You are free within these walls and beyond them. But your place is with us now. You acted with courage and compassion. That makes you kin." Mark nodded. He did not know what future awaited, but the path felt strangely right. Days turned into weeks. He trained with Aurelian guardians, learning the silent signals of their patrols. He joined communal meals where dishes shimmered with bioluminescent ingredients harvested from underground farms. He listened to the child's laughter echo through the halls like chimes shaken by gentle wind. He learned that the mother's name was Ariel, a simple sound shaped by their language's fluid cadence. She spoke to him often, not as commander to subordinate, but as equal to equal. They discussed strategy for border peace. They debated philosophy. They shared stories of their worlds. As trust deepened, Mark began joining diplomatic missions. His presence served as living testament to cooperation between species that once stood on the brink of violence. Human envoys initially reacted with confusion at seeing him among the Aurelian delegation, but soon came to understand the bond he represented. It was more than symbolic. It became the cornerstone of new agreements, new possibilities, new hope. One evening Ariel invited him to the high terrace overlooking the canyon. The sky glowed with drifting auroras, a natural phenomenon unique to Relith. The child sat between them, playing with a carved crystal toy. Ariel turned to Mark. When the storm struck, many on my side believed the humans would let the young perish. That old grudges dictated their choices. But you proved otherwise. You changed how our people see yours. Mark looked across the canyon, remembering the harsh wind against his suit. I only did what anyone should. Perhaps, Ariel said, but many do not choose as you did.